Good morning, and welcome to ASI's Tuesday morning radio show. My name is Joe Haley, and I'm going to be your host today. Today
This
we're
is the
doing
NPR version of the show.
This is the Quaalude version of the radio show.
Well, we can only hope.
Joining us in studio today is Michelle Bell. She's the editor of SGR. This weekend she'll be making Easter baskets with corn husks and pine cones. That sounds delightful, Michelle.
Pine cones?
Just the kind of earthy activity that you like, right?
All right, good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday. It's tax day. It's tax day, and we have a crew here to talk about stuff on this tax day. We've got Michelle Bell. She's the editor of SGR. Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
Good morning. I'm getting ready to leave for China for 12 days.
Yes, and the
Yeah, we need some
champagne
Chinese
corks
music.
will be popping very shortly. Michelle, you paid your taxes? You're all paid? Taxes are done?
Yes, my taxes are done. I have a nice little guy person who handles
Little guy,
that for me.
as she made a little
Okay.
hand wave.
Our guy's name is Lion Lou.
Lion Lou. Lion Lou is the tax preparer for Kathy Houston. She's the editor of Advantages Magazine. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Joe.
So,
I just ran here. I'm out of breath.
oh, I've never seen you run. That's one of the things. It's on my
You
bucket
never
list
will.
to see her run, because I hear it's quite the spectacle. Also joining us is
Like Phoebe,
the senior writer for Advantages
There you
Magazine,
go.
Chris Rubo. Chris, your taxes done?
Oh, yeah, we did TurboTax this year for the first time,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I recommend it because you spend a lot less and you get stuff
No,
back.
we're getting a
Are
lot
you-
of money back
Yeah.
from Lion
Are
Lou.
you paying the piper, or is the piper paying
No,
you?
I got two little kids, so I'm getting paid.
Very good. And
Yeah.
did you file electronically?
I did.
I use TurboTax, but I make them do it the old-fashioned way. I print that stuff
Oh,
out.
you like a nice stamp on there. See,
That's
all
right.
right,
Oh, my
all right.
God.
Get your news here. All right.
See, what he's doing there is making fun of your age.
Also joining us in the studio, answering your phone calls is Facebook Vinny Driscoll. If you want to hear his lilting like voice, give us a call at 215-953-4979, and he will put you on the air. Also manning all those sound effects
But bum.
is Lauren Medina. All right,
Funky Cole Medina.
All right, before we get started, if you give us a call, we will put you on the air, and we're going to give you that great prize pack that includes a $25 Visa gift card. You're going to get the hand fans, you're going to get the finger puppets, and you're going to get some ASI Radio logoed drinkware. But, Kathy, what else is on tap for today?
Well, let's see. Lee and Lee is going to call in with his product safety minute. Chris is going to tell us 6 ways to keep your company bureaucracy free. That was hard for me to say.
You got there.
Hiring. Michelle is going to tell you why personality trumps skill.
Every time.
And Chris will tell you how to fix your company's ailing culture. And I lay, especially like this one, 3 bad bosses to avoid.
Yep.
But first, we're going to have the news with Michelle.
Thank you, Kathy. In the news this morning, top 40 supplier Rivers End has named a new CEO. John Maher takes over for longtime company executive Dick Ward. Maher most recently served as senior vice president and general manager of Land's End Outfitters. Separately, Rivers End has also announced it secured a private equity investment from firm GCI. Terms of that investment were not released. Some sad news to pass along now. Mary Gold, the founder of Hit Sales, has died. Gold founded Hit in New York City in the 1950s, employing more than 225 people in the company's Manhattan factory and head office. Gold later consulted for Hit after the company was purchased, renamed, and moved to Florida. Family and friends have scheduled a celebration of Gold's life for tomorrow night in Midtown Manhattan. Next up, the latest from American Apparel, which announced its first quarter total sales were $137.8 million, about flat compared to last year's Q1 sales. The company's wholesale revenues, though, which include sales to the ad specialty industry, jumped 9%. Wholesale revenues increased 11% in March alone. Finally, this morning, be sure to check out today's promogram to see the latest episode of The Joe Show, where Joe makes reference to the great Galileo.
Oh, very
Galileo
good.
Figaro. Sorry.
I knew that was
Couldn't
coming.
help it.
All right, you check that later on today in Counselor Promogram. Before we go any further, let's go to line 3, Vinny, where we have our friend from the left coast, Mr. Leighton Lee, with today's Safety Minute.
About art materials.
About art materials. Leighton.
Good morning, ASI. Hope everyone's doing well.
We're doing fine. How are you?
Terrific. A little foggy here in SoCal this morning, but I don't know if anybody caught the lunar eclipse.
It was too rainy. I was
blood
up.
moon?
I was up, but it was too rainy,
Yeah.
Leighton.
Rainy?
It was rainy and
Oh.
cloudy. I couldn't see it.
Oh, bummer. Anyways, we had clear skies, but I went to bed. I couldn't even stay up long enough to watch the finish of The Voice, so I went to sleep. Anyways, this morning, Product Safety Minute is about llama. We're not talking about the furry little fuzzy camel-like animals down in Peru and South America. We are talking about art materials. And so many of us in the industry provide items such as sidewalk chalk, crayons, marker pens, coloring pencils, coloring books, etc. for our industry. And all of those things, when they are intended for children, are regulated by federal law. And that law is called LAMA. It's an acronym for Labeling of Hazardous Art Materials Act. And bottom line, to boil it down really in a short form, is that LAMA requires that all art materials intended for children must be certified by a U.S. certified toxicologist, so the art material does not cause chronic health hazards to children. And only once that certified toxicologist approves the formulations of the art material can a maker, such as a supplier, label the little box with the word conforms to ASTM D4236. Now, I'm sure all of us have bought crayons and markers and chalk for our family members, and maybe we used them when we were kids. But you'll always see on the name brand stuff the label conforms to ASTM 4236. That indicates that the formulations have indeed been certified by a toxicologist, and it is safe for children. So, bottom line here, any suppliers and distributors making or selling these types of products for children, for school supplies or promotions, we need to really pay attention to this, because so much of this product slips through without ever any overview or testing. So make sure, as a best practice, check to ensure that your suppliers can provide you with a toxicology report, testing to ensure that there's no lead in the crayons and in the chalk, which we've had many problems over the years, and make sure that the packaging does state that conforms to ASTM D4236. So that is our not-so-warm and fuzzy llama product safety minute for the day. And you guys have a great week.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Leighton.
you too.
Now, starting next week, we're going to be able to send Leighton questions. You can send an email to...
Send it to me.
Send it to Michelle Bell, mbell@asicentral.com. We'll make sure that Leighton gets that, and he will answer all your questions when it comes to product safety concerns.
That's good.
Yeah.
You know, and the one thing, you want to have fun when you go to a toy store, get a box of crayons, and it says non-toxic on them, and say you have enough you don't like so much. Wear the toxic crayons and see what the associates do. Ruvo likes that. No one else does. All right, we're going to our call-in question. Where can I find the best people to work for me? Is our call-in question. You still have time to get on the air. Give us a ring at 215-953-4979. Vinny, call up line 1 where we have Brad. Good morning,
Hi.
Brad.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. What's your question?
You guys have talked about hiring interns before. I'm curious, what are some of the traits that you look for?
Go ahead, Michelle.
This is your expertise, but
Yeah.
attitude, I would imagine, right off the top. But
True.
Yeah.
I would say interns that are willing to take on any task. We've had interns in the past who were just very focused on either writing or editing. They didn't show any initiative, I would say, in doing other things or staying late. I would look for somebody with a good personality, not necessarily for someone who's got the most experience. As I've learned in the past, I've hired interns that we've had in editorial who've had voluminous amounts of experience, and we're not the best that we've had. So I think it comes down to enthusiasm, willing to learn, willing to do anything, willing to get in there. We've had interns that started out in editorial and have gone on to work in other departments and have done very well, Sam in particular. So I think it comes down to attitude. The other thing I would say is, people think of interns and they think of kids that are still in college. We've hired interns who are not, who are a couple of years
Joe
out.
was the oldest
I was just
intern.
going to say, and there's Joe Haley. How old
That
were
was
you when you were hired as an intern?
29-year-old intern. One of the things I like to look for is someone who actually wants the job. I mean, sometimes they just go through the motions. I got to get an internship from school. I'll apply here. I'll do this. I have a 19-year-old who's going to interview this Thursday with an engineering company for a summer intern program. So it's like I said, you got to be enthusiastic. You got to want the job. You got to ask for the job. And one of the important things that Michelle and I also look for is people who respond or follow up with a thank you. Whether it's an email, whether it's a handwritten note, thanking you for the time that you gave them today. Also, if they send a question too, because you always say people, if you have a question, send me an email. And, people who follow up, it shows that they are interested and they want to be here.
It's amazing to me in this day and age with the internet. I mean, it's so easy to do research. People that come in and they clearly did not take the time to go on to ASI Central.
I was going to say, I think you want to look for preparation during the interview too.
Absolutely.
Like how much did they read about the company and look up, what we do and what do they know about the position requirements already? And then, are they asking? I think you touched on this, Joe. Are they asking questions during the interview process? Like when you tell them a requirement or ask them something, are they following that up with you with? Okay, so if I were to be doing X, Y, and Z, would that lead to, such and such kind of thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wait, can I tell the cautionary tale of the intern who came in and asked me? I said, "Do you have questions?" And she said, "I saw that you guys have neck massages. Are they free?"
I remember
Because we have
that.
that lady who works here and it's $1 a minute, and I said,
Yeah,
"No,
on-topic questions would
they're
be the
not
right
free."
thing.
And then she asked something else about, would she get a free gym membership? And I said, "No. Do you have any questions specifically about the editorial department?" And in fact, she did not.
And you said, "You are dismissed."
All right, Brad, hopefully we gave you some good ideas there, and good luck with hiring your intern this summer.
Thank you.
All right. Vinny, let's go to line 2 where we have Natalie on the line. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning.
Do you have a question for us?
I do. I would love to bring a few people on board who can help re-energize my company with creativity and also bring in new sales, which it's a lot to ask, I know. Do you guys have any ideas on where I can start looking?
I would say, if you're looking for people who have industry experience, you have to go to industry events, whether it's your local association, whether it's one of the national shows, and go to those network, events, and just talk to people, see if anyone's looking, interested in moving. I know a lot of people in this industry consider that pilfering salespeople, but, a salesperson is not going to leave a company if they're truly happy there. So, you might find someone who, is just making, ready to make a move someplace else. So I would, if you're looking for someone who knows the industry, start in the industry.
I would actually advise to go outside of the industry.
I was going to say I would do that. If you're looking for a fresh perspective, I'll let you finish your thought, but I would look outside of it, and
Absolutely.
maybe for some younger people who are somehow keyed into they have certain interests that would align with markets that you might be looking to get into. Like in Advantages, we just did a whole piece about the music market, which is very lucrative with live event kind of promotions right now. And maybe you want to look to somebody who has some kind of connections in that industry already.
Yeah, that's true.
They could start networking. And go ahead, Kat.
Right, we just profiled Adam Brown from Motivators too in Advantages, and he actually started in like an experiential type capacity, like on a event street team, and that's a great place to look for people with new perspectives and who already have kind of a pulse on the industry.
I would say, too, for sales, I mean, I agree with you. I think, to infuse your company with new energy and creativity, maybe skew towards younger people. But for experienced salespeople, I would say look for people who are recently retired, but who maybe want to work a couple days a week.
True.
Because they have experience. They know what they're doing. Typically, they're more, maybe they're not as apt to need the money as much, but they can still, do what they need to do.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
All right, Natalie, there's some advice. It's all over the place, so you got to decide who gave you the best advice. It was Joe. No, I'm kidding. Hopefully we gave you something that's useful. Stay on the line. Vinny will get your information. And Vinny, let's go to line 4 where our friend from California is on the line. I'm assuming it's Stanley. Stanley?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Hey, Stanley.
All right, Stanley, what's going on?
Oh, man, bright and sunny and getting ready for the day.
All right, what's your question, comment, concern?
Well, my question is, when it comes down to hiring somebody and it comes to compensation, a lot of times it's really hard to pay somebody a salary. But do you think commission is a big enough carrot that you can attract strong talent, or does there really need to be a base in order to get the right talent? What do you think?
Kathy?
Well, we just did the compensation study again for Advantages this year, Stanley, and 50-50 split commission is still the way most distributors go. However, more of them are paying salary plus commission plus bonus. And I went to a couple seminars last year by this speaker called Troy. His name was Troy Harrison, and he said in order for distributors to get younger talent, that they're going to have to start offering some kind of salary or bonus with the commission.
So a base and a commission.
Yeah.
Who could live on just a commission if you're brand new and you don't know?
I know, exactly.
Well, it's scary.
Even if you had like a
There's
draw, Stanley, where
I was going to say
Yeah.
there's payment arrangements where where companies a lot of time will front you money, and then you pay that back.
Pay
through
it
your
down,
commissions.
right.
Yeah.
The 50-50 commission can also ferret out the bad salespeople. I mean, because it's dog eat dog world, and you're not going to make it if you're not making sales. So I mean, there is some motivation there for a sales rep. Then after you get them in there for a few years, maybe then or a year, whatever the probationary period might be, you can start to offer a base salary along with the split.
Just in I think in pure point of fact from the Advantages survey, I believe when reps were asked what kind of payment model would they most like, I think straight commission was the second most popular, believe it or not, just after commission plus bonus plus salary.
Right.
So it is still something. It is still something that attracts people apparently because they're eager to work on merit. At least the survey.
And then do you deduct the cost of the neck massages?
They're free. Didn't you hear?
Aren't you giving them yourself, Stanley?
Well, we're not going to go. Stanley, thanks a lot. Hopefully we answered your question there. Stay on the line, Vinny will get your information. And we're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to go to our Facebook questions about this topic. But first, let's hear a message from today's show sponsor, Hanes.
Hanes branded printwear is starting the new year with a new website. Designed for promotional product distributors and screen printers alike, HanesInc.com features high-res product and lifestyle images, marketing materials, videos, upsell techniques, and helpful tips to help you increase your ROI. Our new website allows you to search for products based on colors or product line. Our wholesaler section helpfully lists all products that companies carry, as well as wholesaler contact information. HanesInc.com provides the best tools to sell quality products. Hanes is also proud to unveil the Nano Collection, complete with brand new vintage colors and new styles, such as lightweight, ring-spun, fashion fleece. If retail fashion is what your customers seek, the Nano Collection is where they'll find it. Cheap shirts are cheap. Hanes shirts are better. Visit HanesInc.com.
All right, and we're back. Michelle, we have some questions or comments posted on Facebook on our topic.
We do. We have one from David Garthwaite who says, office personnel are often easy to find. Our local community college has many interns looking for a place to start, and many of them are exceptional employees. Good sales reps are much harder to find, and he says he's always looking for leads for new reps. And Eric Campbell says, transparency in your expectations, potential rewards, and plan for growth and advancement is a must. Start there and be ready to teach and give prompt, useful feedback, and make sure you offer a path to mastery and autonomy. If your compensation is fair, you offer an environment that fosters intrinsic drive, and you have a team of good people as your base, you'll have a better time attracting and retaining quality employees.
I'm just going to plagiarize that for the next article that I'm working on, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty well done, right?
That was well said.
And then Laurie O'Shea from Motivator says, hiring in this industry is not easy, and that's something we hear often. The learning curve is really high. When we hire, we look for upbeat, quick, friendly people who are open to learn. For the most part, we know we have to train them from the top to the bottom, so we often go for personality because we have an instinct that they will learn fast instead of experience.
That's what you were talking about before, too.
Yeah. One of the other things with intern things you need to consider is your internship going to be certified through a local college or school where the students are also going to get credit, or is an internship that's basically going to give them experience within a job field? So, it's something you want to look at. And then when you have those candidates come in, they need to know that yes or no, they're going to get credits, and, yes or no, they're going to get paid, or whatever the subject might be. All right, we're going to move on. Chris, you have 6 ways to keep your company bureaucracy free.
Yeah, so obviously too much bureaucracy can hamper progress, and one of the first things that you can do to prevent that from happening is to make projects that your teams are working on as brief as possible. When a project is shorter or briefer, people tend to work harder and faster to meet the deadlines, and a lot of times that upped pace gets the best out of them. Another thing that you can do is you can make sure that you do not make it an imperative to track every project deliverable as if it were on an accounting spreadsheet. You want to have fewer major tasks because when you do that, those tasks will become higher priorities and your teams will be more apt to get them done quickly and correctly. Another thing is you want to keep teams and projects small and highly focused. When you have smaller projects and smaller teams, not only do those teams work harder to finish tasks, but they'll present a less attractive target for maybe people in the organizations who want to load them with bureaucracy. Another thing is you'll want to delay the creation of formal policies. This is especially true at a small company. When you're just getting going, real formal, rigid policies might just get in the way and slow things down. Another thing, tip 5, co-locate your team. This helps minimize bureaucracy, especially in startups and smaller companies when employees are situated together. It creates more of a team environment, if you will, where people will work together and not boss each other around so much, at least the theory goes. And then finally, you want to forego the constant meetings, and I'm a big believer in this one.
Yeah.
You just meet when it's necessary. Too many meetings can bog things down and can lead to unnecessary bureaucratic intervention. So those
How
are
about
6
3-hour
tips.
training sessions?
I'm not saying anything.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Ruve. We'll post that article on our website, asicentral.com/radio later on today. Now we're going to move over to Michelle. Hiring personality trumps skill.
Yes. According to a new international survey of 500 professionals, they found that personality far outweighed technical chops even for higher skilled roles. A whopping 78% of those surveyed said personality was the most desirable quality in employees, beating out cultural alignment and skill set. What particular skills were most valued? Drive, creativity, and an open mind topped the list. And according to the survey, it said personality, not competence, is the determining factor of who's going to get the most attractive jobs among tomorrow's recruits. And then it further goes on to say that the era of the awkward geek, Seth, the awkward geek, or the unpleasant creative, Mark, may be drawing to a close.
I know more than one.
Yeah.
So it's all about the personality.
It is.
If you rise and shine.
It is. You know why? Well, the underlying thing in this is that you can train. You can really train anyone. And the person with the personality that's most amenable, I mean, will get easily trained.
Sure.
I would say to some degree that's contingent on the type of job, but certainly for sales or
Oh,
media
yeah.
or marketing, absolutely
Yes,
true.
definitely.
Yeah.
But I think the caveat there is that your personality will only take you so far in the long run if you are incapable of doing that
Yeah.
job.
Well, yeah.
You're
Sure,
going to find yourself out the
There's a
door.
basic core competency, Joe, that we're going to need for this
Well,
position.
the golden combination is personality and skills,
Okay,
with a greater emphasis, though, on personality.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Very good. We'll post that online as well with Ruvo's article, asicentral.com/radio. We're going to Kathy, where she's going to tell us about 6 ways selling will change in 10 years.
All right. Well, in-person relationships will become more important rather than less important, even given the the increase in social media. Once the newness wears off about that, there will be a shift towards personal face-to-face relationships, and I think face-to-face relationships are still important nonetheless. Sales training will move from private providers to colleges and universities. So sales training is currently a multi-million-dollar business, but pretty much all the speakers give identical curriculum, while colleges and universities generally ignored the study of sales. Like Steve, for instance, my husband, majored in marketing, and he's in sales. But now an increasing number of business majors will minor in sales, as well as marketing. Salespeople will become more specialized and more professional. Traditional wisdom says that a good salesperson can sell anything to anyone, but that was never really true. So it's going to become less true as time goes on. And finally, companies will continue to hire more rather than fewer salespeople. That makes sense. For the past few decades, many business thinkers have treated selling as something that would eventually wither away as the internet made commerce more frictionless. But Chris, you just wrote about this too, that online sellers aren't everything and can't provide everything to everyone. It's all about that personal relationship.
A lot of gaps there still, for sure.
Right.
Oh, I agree. I agree. And I think that people, who are worried about the internet, changing the face of this industry. I mean, we heard that, how many years ago? I mean, 15 years ago. And, you know.
They were always worried.
It has to have. All right, we're going to take another break here from today's other show sponsor, ASI Education. And when we come back, we're going to hear about 3 bad bosses to avoid. At ASI, we know that education is the key to success, so we're excited to announce our newly reimagined online learning center. Log in and test the all-new intuitive interface. Share photos, stories, and communicate with other ASI members who are learning along with you. Expand your knowledge with wikis, discussion boards, and more than 350 courses, which include valuable marketing and sales information. And for your convenience, the Online Learning Center now uses a single sign-on access like your other ASI services. Best of all, it's free. Become an industry expert and see what's new on the ASI Online Learning Center at www.asicentral.com/online learning.
Okay, you using the word wikis is like my grandfather saying selfie.
I read what's put in front of me. And
I say cheap shirts are cheap.
Yes, you do, Pat.
What is a wiki?
I don't know.
Yes, hey, look at her. She don't know either.
I would say use your smartphone to do it, but I think you still got to flip, right, Joe?
No, I don't. Mr. Bright Blue Phone up to about a year ago when you got a
that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Kathy, what's a wiki?
It's a religion, isn't it?
I thought it was something in rap music, like a wiki.
They're on Endor, right? I think. I don't know.
All right.
Every tech person listening is having a heart attack.
Enough of the jocularity. All right, Michelle.
Yes.
Who are the 3 bad bosses to avoid?
So job hunters can potentially spot bad bosses during the interview process by paying attention for these traits. The bully boss. This is the boss who is brash, insulting, and gets work done through intimidation and, wait for it, yelling. Ask to speak to a future peer before accepting the position. If they say no, this is a clue. If they say yes, and you get to meet somebody that already works at the company that you could be working with if you accept the job, ask about the best and the worst part of the leadership style. Listen to descriptions like very passionate, strong-minded, or on a mission, and watch body language for discomfort and fear when talking about the worst parts. The exception is, think about a Steve Jobs type, a bully with a mission you can resonate with, or that resonates with you. You may have to decide if working for them is more important than dealing with, any personality quirks that they have as far as being a bully. He was famously a bully. He was just an ass, personality-wise. He yelled at people. He was nasty, but people loved working for him because of the creativity that he inspired. The second one is the oversharer. This one, boss talks too much and shuts everyone down on their team. It is hard for them to share power and build teamwork. Employees become disengaged over time, and in the interview, they will want to spend a lot of time talking, telling you about their thoughts and ideas, and leave little time for you to speak or to ask you questions. And finally, we have the political people pleaser. The extreme dysfunctional example is Michael from The Office. Which is Steve Carell's character. They are nice, overly nice. Ultimately, they are not winners in the organization. They cannot take a stand for important issues for fear of upsetting people or looking bad. In the interview, they will be very polite. They will spend a lot of time smiling and asking you about yourself, your experience, and your feelings on topics. And when you ask them what's the most important skill people need to succeed here, they will say something bland and banal about getting along and building relationships. Oh, that sounds familiar.
There you go. So we'll post this online.
Yes, we will.
The oversharer, I'm involved with the community organization, and the president a few years back was an oversharer, and just we'd go to these meetings and wouldn't shut up. And what happens with that is that
Were you the president?
No, I wasn't, but I'm not the one I'm talking about.
Sounds familiar.
But the problem is that people then shut down, and then you don't get any type of good ideas from anyone because of the blather, and you just want to go home.
It's totally true.
So, bosses could do that too. They blather. All right, we have enough time now for Michelle's favorite part of the show, our favorite things. Let's start off with Michelle.
It's really not, though. Okay, this is for people who travel a lot. I thought about this because, again, I'll be traveling on a 16-hour flight to Asia on Monday.
Yeah. Hey, look at us all smiling. Look at me. Can you see my smile here on the radio?
This item is from Debco, ASI 48885, and it is a little device that you actually attach like a handle to your luggage, and it tells you if it's over the weight limit.
Oh, that's good.
So before you get on a flight, I mean, it literally is the size of the palm of your hand, and you can pack it, but it will tell you, and it's got a little tape measure included in it that you can tell if it fits the dimensions of a
that's
carry-on.
great.
And how often are your bags over the limit?
All the time.
All the time.
But I have
A shoe bag,
I
a
have-
bag of shoes.
Yes,
That's the truth, right?
I do. And then my regular suitcase, which is like this, you could fit a body into it.
Right. I know.
A
I've
girl
seen
needs
it.
options.
I've seen her maneuver that. All right,
Yeah.
Kathy.
All right, mine. I love these pedal pushers from American Greenwood, ASI 35500. What they are is buttons. They have a pin on the back, so you can.
What are they?
Buttons, like lapel pins, but they're actually seated, and once you're like done wearing the button, like for an awareness walk or an eco-friendly event, you can plant it in the ground and grow flowers, Joe.
Nice.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Okay.
That is very cool.
Very nice.
Roof, what do you got?
Mine is from Norwood, ASI 74400. It's a watch. It's called the Right on Time watch, and what makes it unique is it has glow-in-the-dark bands or glow-in-the-dark hands, and silver numbers. It's great for all kinds of events and giveaways, and the bands themselves are pretty fun and boldly colored. So yeah, great fit.
All right. Hey, if you haven't had a chance to see the video that MSNBC did on the industry last week at the ASI show, or 2 weeks ago at the ASI show in New York, get over to our Facebook page, Advertising Specialty Institute, or you can check us out online at asicentral.com. Check out that video. Share it with your clients. Share it with other people in the industry. We'd be happy you did. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time today. Next week, it'll be the Michelle Free program. But we'd like to thank our show sponsors, Haynes and ASI Education, and we'll talk to you next week. See ya.
Bye now.